Huh. Fools. They never thought you'd make it out alive. They built the story with your collapse as the ending. Every whisper, every setup, every smiling face hiding a blade, every move was calculated to make sure you'd disappear before the credits rolled. But here you are, breathing, glowing, walking proof that the impossible doesn't die. It adapts. You weren't supposed to be here. Your survival rewrote the entire script. That's why they're panicking now. Because your existence exposes their conspiracy. They didn't just fail, they failed publicly. And your heartbeat is the evidence. You weren't meant to rise because your rise exposes everything they wanted buried. They thought your pain would paralyze you. They thought your heartbreak would hollow you out. They thought betrayal would make you beg for help. But they forgot something. They were dealing with someone born from fire. Someone who bleeds persistence and inhales chaos like oxygen. They didn't understand that breaking you was never an option. It was a ritual, a test, and you passed it without even knowing it. That's what drives them mad now. You're walking around with the calm of someone who survived coordinated destruction, and they can't process it. Picture it. Entire groups of people who can't even agree on what they want for dinner, suddenly finding unity in one thing, your downfall. Co-workers who couldn't stand each other suddenly sharing secrets about you. Family who smiled at you on Sunday, whispering curses by Tuesday. Former lovers pretending to check in, when in truth they're carrying messages from the enemy camp. They created a coalition of envy, a spiritual cartel of jealousy, and even with all that collective effort, they still couldn't finish you. They spent nights plotting, days pretending, all to watch you stand taller than ever. You weren't just their target, you were their obsession. They studied your weaknesses like scientists. They rewound your old mistakes like footage in a lab. They even rehearsed your reactions, trying to predict your next move. But you didn't move logically. You moved divinely. Every time they thought they cornered you, destiny shifted the walls. Every time they launched a trap, the timing flipped in your favor. You weren't surviving by luck. You were surviving by alignment. And that's what terrifies them. They can't explain how you keep dodging what should have destroyed you. At first they thought it was coincidence. Then it became pattern. Then it became fear. Because one by one they started realizing that every weapon formed against you backfired. Every whisper turned into exposure. Every curse looped back as consequence. Their own alliances began cracking under the weight of karma. That's when they knew this wasn't normal. This was supernatural. You see, they didn't just attack your reputation. They tried to break your energy. They wanted your mind fractured, your confidence drained, your spirit offline. They wanted you exhausted, confused, questioning your worth. That's why they used isolation. It's the oldest trick in psychological warfare. They wanted you surrounded by silence, so their lies could echo louder. But they underestimated what happens when a chosen one gets alone. You don't go crazy, you go deeper. You start hearing the frequency they tried to drown out. You start remembering who you were before manipulation rewired your faith. That's when your energy changed. That's when the air around you began to shift. They could feel it, even before they saw it. The same people who mocked your breakdowns now stare at your breakthroughs like they're witnessing sorcery. You're not supposed to glow like that after being buried alive. You're not supposed to speak that clearly after being gaslit for years. You're not supposed to love again after being betrayed that brutally. But you did. And that's why they whisper now. Because you're not supposed to exist at this level. They called you crazy, delusional, unstable. They needed labels to make their guilt make sense. But your healing became their haunting. Every time you breathe in peace, it feels like thunder in their chest. Every time you post, succeed, smile, it burns through the illusion they built around you. They thought you'd stay small enough to control, quiet enough to erase. Instead, you became a walking confession of their failure. Understand this: their unity was never about power. It was about fear. They sensed your potential long before you did. Your very energy reminded them of everything they buried in themselves: truth, integrity, courage, light. They weren't trying to destroy you. They were trying to destroy the reflection you forced them to see. Because when you stand in your full strength, their weakness becomes visible. And humans will do anything to avoid seeing what they've suppressed, even destroy the mirror. That's why they joined forces. That's why enemies became allies. That's why people who never met suddenly shared the same script. You became the project, the experiment, the obsession. They wanted to test how much light one person could withstand before breaking. They wanted to prove that purity is fragile, that goodness doesn't survive cruelty. But the outcome betrayed them. Because the more they attacked, the more you evolved. You didn't just resist their darkness, you converted it into discipline. You didn't just survive their betrayal, you refined your discernment. Every setup became training. Every heartbreak became armor. Look closely, and you'll see it now. They're glitching. Their guilt is leaking through their performances. They speak softer when your name comes up. They shift in their seats when your success plays on their screen. They tell others they've moved on. But their eyes betray the obsession. They're still watching, still calculating, still wondering how you're breathing in the ruins they designed. And the truth is, you're not just breathing, you're building. They thought taking your circle would break your strength. But solitude became your laboratory. You learned how to operate without validation, how to thrive without applause. You turned loneliness into strategy. And now that you've learned to walk without crutches, they realize they were never needed. They were weight. Your detachment is what frightens them most now. You no longer need them, their approval, their recognition. They lost psychological control, and that's something they'll never forgive. You were supposed to self-destruct. Instead, you reconstructed. You were supposed to fade quietly. Instead, you became loud in your stillness. You were supposed to disappear. Instead, your energy multiplied. They can't understand it because their logic is linear. But your journey was quantum. They don't get how pain turned to power, how betrayal turned to blueprint, how isolation became initiation. They don't get that divinely chosen souls are built from paradox. They break patterns by breaking expectations. And now the same people who laughed at your breakdowns are trying to imitate your healing. They steal your phrases, your style, your essence, hoping some of that strength rubs off. But power can't be plagiarized. Your energy can't be duplicated because it's not performance, it's precision. You didn't rehearse this, you earned this. You lived through what they could never imagine and came back coherent, calm, commanding. You carry the kind of vibration that makes liars choke on their own words. That's not charisma, that's consequence. Remember how they used to look at you? Pity, mockery, superiority. Now they look with curiosity, fear, awe. Because the energy shifted. You went from target to template, from scapegoat to standard, from outcast to oracle. And that evolution happened right under their watchful eyes. They tried to humiliate you publicly. Now your very existence humiliates them spiritually. You were their experiment gone wrong, their failure they can't explain. And it's poetic justice, isn't it? The same mouths that once spread your downfall now repeat your quotes. The same people who warned others to stay away now study your mindset like scripture. The same ones who said you were finished now imitate your discipline, your calm, your voice. They don't understand that every attempt to destroy you only upgraded your design. They threw chaos, you learned structure. They spread lies, you built truth. They blocked paths, you created your own. They didn't just underestimate you, they underestimated divine timing. Because the universe doesn't waste warriors. When you survived what they thought would kill you, cosmic balance shifted. Your pain became permission for the next phase. Every wound turned into access. You became fluent in energy. You learned to sense deception before it spoke, to feel danger before it appeared. That's not paranoia, that's awareness earned through suffering. You're not fearful, you're fluent in human nature now. That's what scares them most. You see through everything, their charm, their manipulation, their pity. Plays, it doesn't work anymore. Your intuition evolved into a weapon sharper than any knife they once hid behind their smiles. You read tone like scripture, body language like prophecy. They can't infiltrate you anymore because you're not reactive, you're responsive. You don't fight with emotion now, you fight with awareness. And awareness always wins. This is why your survival rattled their entire ecosystem. You've proven that coordinated betrayal can't override divine coding. You've shown that unity built on envy collapses under truth. You've become the variable they can't calculate. And now, their obsession has turned into exhaustion. Some are still pretending to hate you, but secretly they admire you. Others act indifferent, but they're studying your every move. Even the ones who once led the attacks now whisper your name, like it's both curse and prayer. But don't be fooled, some of them will return. They'll disguise their motives as apologies, their regret as healing. They'll say they've changed, that they've learned. But watch their patterns, not their words. Because people don't transform overnight, they reveal themselves slowly under pressure. Your job now isn't revenge, it's remembrance. Remember who stood against you. Remember who doubted you. Remember who tried to weaponize your pain. And remember that forgiveness doesn't require access. You're no longer in their league. You're not fighting on the same field. They're still stuck in gossip. You're moving in legacy. They're still playing human chess. You're building empires. That's why you can't go back. You can't dim down to make them comfortable again. You can't explain miracles to people addicted to manipulation. They don't deserve the blueprint you bled for. So stand tall. Own what they tried to erase. Let them watch you thrive through the very energy they once cursed. Every success of yours is a sermon to their failure. Every move you make in peace is a reminder that divine protection is louder than public perception. You're not here by accident, you're here by assignment. And just when they think you've reached your peak, they'll realize something even darker. You're not done evolving. You're not done revealing. You've only been warming up. Because your survival wasn't the victory, it was the warning. The signal that the impossible doesn't stay buried. That the chosen don't just rise, they return transformed. So keep your focus steady. The air is shifting again. The watchers are multiplying, the whispers getting frantic, the energy tightening. They can sense it, even if they don't understand it. Something's coming, something they can't control, can't manipulate, can't block. You feel it too, don't you? The pulse building beneath the surface. Because this wasn't the end of their plan. It was just the beginning of your power. And what happens next, what's about to unfold, will make everything they've done look like practice. The air trembles now. You can feel the frequency shift like a countdown hidden under your ribs. The watchers sense it too, the tremor of something awakening that no calculation can predict. They're panicking behind their smiles, because your calm is louder than their schemes. Every step you take without fear dismantles months of their coordination. They're realizing too late that the plan they worshipped is already dissolving in real time. Because what's coming next isn't revenge, it's revelation. And revelation changes everything. They spent so long rehearsing your downfall that they forgot to prepare for your rebirth. The scripts they wrote don't fit anymore. The stories they told collapse under the weight of your new reality. You're not the same person they plotted against. You're rebuilt, recalibrated, rewritten by the universe itself. They thought breaking you would erase you, but all it did was refine your purpose. You've become a living contradiction, someone they can't destroy and can't define. That's the kind of threat that terrifies control freaks. Now the whispers sound different. They don't talk with certainty anymore. They talk with tremors. Their voices crack because they know the energy is reversing. The same mouth that cursed you is tasting consequence. The same hand that sabotaged you shakes when it reaches for peace. They're haunted by what they can't undo. Because your survival didn't just protect you, it sentenced them. Every action has a return address, and your spirit was the mirror they mailed their hatred to. Now the reflection is arriving, and you walk through it untouched. You've learned how to see darkness without absorbing it. That's supernatural power, control over perception. You no longer flinch at gossip, no longer panic at betrayal. You move like water around obstacles, like fire through barriers. They don't understand how someone so wounded moves with such precision. But pain trained you in ways comfort never could. Every breakdown rewired your instincts. Every lie sharpened your discernment. What they meant for disorientation became your education. Let's expose the truth they keep avoiding. This wasn't chaos. It was choreography. Every person who betrayed you was a pawn placed to activate a part of your power. The fake friends were teachers of boundaries. The jealous co-workers were catalysts for excellence. The family traitors were mirrors of your unhealed lineage. Every sting was a signal. Every attack was an initiation. You were never being destroyed. You were being drafted into mastery. That's why nothing they did could end you. You were being constructed inside the collapse. Look at them now. The same ones who mocked your prayers are now lighting candles, hoping for mercy. The same ones who mocked your energy work are Googling protection rituals at 3 a.m. They laughed when you spoke about intuition. Now they pay for readings just to understand why karma feels like quicksand. That's poetic justice in motion. You didn't lift a finger. You didn't need to. The universe simply synchronized the consequences. You became untouchable because you surrendered control. You let truth handle what ego once wanted to fight. But make no mistake, your rise is not random, it's surgical. Every opportunity finding you now was coded long before their sabotage began. They thought they were closing doors, but each betrayal opened the one you were meant to walk through. Every delay recalibrated your timeline to precision, and now, as you ascend, their illusion of power crumbles. They thought they had influence. They didn't realize they were only proving your invincibility, because the harder they pressed, the brighter you burned. You're not lucky, you're aligned. Luck fades, alignment multiplies. That's why they can't replicate your outcomes. They copy your style, your tone, your language, but the energy doesn't translate. They post like you, dress like you, even quote your words, but something's missing: authentic resonance. You can't fake frequency. You either earned it or you didn't. And they didn't. They watched the transformation, but skipped the suffering. They want the crown without the crucible. That's why they'll always fall short. Now they're trying a new tactic, pretending to root for you. Fake support disguised as maturity. I always knew they'd make it, they say, hoping proximity might rewrite history. But energy never lies. Their applause vibrates like envy in disguise. You can feel it. That's why you keep your distance. Because you've learned that not everyone who claps is a friend. Some just want a front row seat to study your light. And this time, you're not sharing the stage. Your boundaries have become holy ground. You guard your energy like sacred fire, and that discipline is driving them insane. They can't feed on you anymore. They can't provoke you into reactions that lower your vibration. They can't access the version of you that used to explain, defend, justify. That version died in the war they started. The new you speaks only in results. The new you glows without warning. The new you forgives, but never reopens doors. That's the real miracle. Peace after persecution. You're noticing patterns faster now. You can feel deceit like static before words are spoken. You see right through the rehearsed empathy, the strategic vulnerability, the sudden nostalgia. They're testing the perimeter, looking for cracks in your confidence. But your field is sealed. Every lesson reinforced it. You no longer chase understanding from people committed to confusion. You no longer translate truth for ears allergic to accountability. You simply move, quietly, powerfully, inevitably. And that movement terrifies them more than any confrontation ever could. The gossip doesn't sting anymore. It's just background noise. You've outgrown the frequency of victimhood. They can no longer bait you into defending what's self-evident. You are proof. You are evidence. Your peace is testimony. That's what kills their narrative. It's impossible to debate outcomes that radiate. And no matter how much they try to rewrite the past, the universe keeps projecting receipts. Every win of yours is time-stamped divine. So when they gossip now, it isn't power, it's panic. Every rumor is a desperate attempt to rewrite what the world can already see. You're thriving without their permission. You're smiling without their validation. You're walking through doors they swore were locked, and that realization is splitting their ego down the middle. They tried to bury you in lies, but all they did was dig a trench between you and their energy. You exist on a different frequency now, where noise can't follow, where shadows lose traction. The shock still hasn't worn off for them. They scroll through your progress pretending indifference, but the jaw tension gives them away. They're searching for cracks, for signs of struggle, because they can't comprehend that peace could be this consistent. They can't compute that confidence can exist without arrogance, that clarity can exist without cruelty. You've mastered what they mocked, the quiet discipline of self-control, and that's the rarest power of all. Understand this clearly. They never hated your flaws. They hated your potential. Your resilience reminded them how small their excuses were. Every time you rebuilt, it exposed how long they'd been standing still. They didn't attack you because you were weak. They attacked because you represented growth. And growth exposes stagnation. That's why they tried to box you in. If they could define you, they could dismiss you. But now that you've expanded beyond labels, they're left talking to ghosts. The universe gave you something they can't fake: momentum. You move like time itself, unstoppable, uninterested in validation. You no longer seek closure. You create it with every boundary you hold. You no longer beg for understanding. You communicate through transformation. That's what supernatural power really is. Not levitating or performing miracles, but bending energy through integrity. When you stay true under pressure, reality bends to serve you. That's why opportunities appear out of nowhere. That's why resources meet you halfway. That's why protection follows you, like shadow follows light. They can't replicate that. They can study your methods, mimic your tone, steal your words, but they'll never reproduce your outcomes. Because your power wasn't built from ambition, it was built from endurance. You earned this frequency by surviving what would have erased them. You faced betrayal and chose evolution. You faced abandonment and chose alignment. You faced humiliation and chose humility. You transmuted poison into prophecy. That's alchemy of the soul. And now, karma is poetic. The same energy they weaponized against you is dismantling their illusions. Their alliances are fracturing. Their peace is malfunctioning. They're learning the hard way that when you target someone divinely assigned, the blowback isn't punishment, it's proportion. They threw darkness. It returned multiplied. They sent confusion. Now they can't think straight. They wished loss upon you. Now everything they touch slips away. That's not revenge, that's resonance. You, on the other hand, rise smoother every day. You don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you flow. You don't explain, you embody. Your life itself has become the sermon, and everyone who once doubted you is forced to sit through the lesson. That's divine efficiency, no arguments, just outcomes. And they can't look away because the glow hurts. It burns through their denial. It forces reflection they've avoided for years. This is the point where your purpose starts demanding precision. No more half-hearted alliances. No more explaining energy to those who drain it. The mission is bigger now. You're being positioned for visibility that requires spiritual discipline. The spotlight they tried to weaponize against you will soon illuminate them instead. Every secret move they made in shadows will find daylight. And you won't need to expose anyone. The universe handles public relations for the protected. But here's the twist. The universe won't just vindicate you. It'll elevate you through the same stage they used to ridicule you. Their platform becomes your pulpit. Their gossip becomes your marketing. Their sabotage becomes your testimony. That's the genius of divine strategy. It wastes nothing. Even their hatred had a function, to sharpen your awareness. Now the energy is shifting again. You can feel it, opportunities aligning, connections returning, abundance breathing at the edges of your reality. This is the expansion phase. Everything you lost was space being cleared. Every delay was direction being refined. You're about to step into territory that requires the exact scars you carry. Nothing was wasted, not a tear, not a betrayal, not a single night spent questioning your worth. It all encoded wisdom. It all trained your perception. And while they still whisper your name with resentment, the world will start speaking it with reverence. Your authenticity will cut through algorithms, through noise, through narratives. Because truth always finds frequency match. The right souls are tuning in now. The protectors, The collaborators, the ones coded for the same mission. They'll recognize you instantly, not by words, but by vibration. And when that alignment locks, everything accelerates. So stay steady. Don't flinch when the energy spikes again. The last tremor before breakthrough always feels like chaos. You're not losing control, you're gaining altitude. Those who tried to clip your wings are about to witness liftoff. They'll call it luck, coincidence, divine favoritism, anything but accountability. But you'll know. You'll remember the nights you held faith with trembling hands. You'll remember the silence that turned into strategy, the heartbreak that turned into higher vision. That's the real miracle, your refusal to die where they left you. Keep walking. The path ahead hums with destiny. Their eyes will follow, their words will twist. But none of it matters, because the next phase isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving the universe right. You were never meant to just survive them. You were meant to transcend them. And as the energy builds again, as the watchers scramble to make sense of what's unfolding, remember this truth. Your survival was the trailer. What's coming next is the full feature. The world hasn't seen your true magnitude yet. The power they feared was only the preview. The countdown has already started. The frequencies are aligning. The stage they built for your downfall is turning into your coronation floor. Every light that once exposed you will soon illuminate you. Every voice that mocked you will echo your name in awe. Brace yourself. The shift you feel isn't tension, it's takeoff. The very forces that tried to bury you are now beneath you, watching the altitude rise. What happens next will silence every skeptic, every plotter, every shadow that underestimated your range. Because this isn't survival anymore. This is Ascension. And the moment it begins is the moment they realize the real destruction wasn't yours. It was theirs. You didn't just walk out of the fire. You came back carrying the blueprint for immortality. Every scar turned into code. Every heartbreak became data. Every betrayal became instruction. You learned what no book could teach. That resilience isn't noise, it's a language. And you're fluent now. The world can feel it before you speak. That's why rooms shift when you enter. Why energy rearranges itself to accommodate your presence. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. They're still in disbelief, still whispering, still trying to trace the source of your endurance. They can't comprehend that you weren't rescued. You rebuilt yourself brick by brick in the dark. You were your own savior, your own resurrection, your own prophecy fulfilled. They wanted you to crumble so they could feel tall again. Instead, you became proof that divine design can't be derailed by human intention. They're studying you now, like scientists around a phenomenon they can't categorize. How did they survive that? They ask. How did they rise from that? The answer terrifies them. It wasn't strategy. It was spirit. Something beyond comprehension moved through you. Something they'll never replicate because it wasn't man-made. It was coded in your soul before you even arrived here. The irony? They're praying now, not to win, but to be forgiven. Because deep down, they know what they touched. You can't conspire against a chosen one without consequence. You can't plot against light and expect to live in peace. Every lie they told, every smear they spread, every smile they faked, it's circling back. They wake up heavy now, haunted by invisible weight. Their plans echo like static. That's the sound of universal justice working overtime. You didn't need revenge. You became karma in human form. Look at the path you've walked. Exile, betrayal, confusion, awakening, ascension. Each stage was a crucible designed to burn off illusion. That's why you're dangerous now, not because you seek destruction, but because you carry understanding. They can't manipulate what you've already mastered. You see patterns before they form. You hear intention beneath words. You feel truth vibrating through lies. That's supernatural perception, and it's why they fear you more now than ever. You're not playing defense anymore. You're rewriting the field itself. They tried everything: gossip, energy attacks, coordinated slander, fake apologies, silent treatments, collective shaming. None of it worked. You absorbed it, transmuted it, and turned it into awareness. That's what they'll never grasp. The chosen don't break. They evolve. The more pressure you apply, the more precision they develop. You're the living definition of that truth. They threw confusion at you. You learned discernment. They threw betrayal. You learned boundaries. They threw rejection. You learned self-worth. You became the equation their hatred can't solve. Now the same forces that tried to erase you are studying you like scripture. They copy your mannerisms, your phrases, your light. But it doesn't hit the same. They can mimic behavior, not essence. They can imitate delivery, not divinity. That's why their replicas always glitch, why their copies always crumble. You can't duplicate frequency forged through agony. You can't manufacture energy refined through warfare. You can only watch and wonder how someone keeps thriving after every system failed to eliminate them. Your story has become legend whispered among watchers. They gather behind screens, scrolling, analyzing, dissecting every move, trying to predict your next metamorphosis. But you've outgrown prediction. You move by intuition now, guided by code older than their calculations. That's what separates you from the crowd. Your power isn't reactive, it's directive. You don't wait for permission to transform. You simply do. And when you do, reality shifts to catch up. They thought numbers would overpower you. They thought consensus would cage you. They thought being outnumbered meant being outmatched. But spiritual warfare isn't a popularity contest. It's precision against illusion, purpose against performance. You didn't need allies, you were the army. You didn't need validation, you were the verdict. Every person who turned against you, unknowingly, turned toward their own exposure. Because by opposing what was sacred, they signed contracts with consequence. And now, as the tables turn, you feel it, the weight reversing, the energy correcting. Their unity was never built on truth. It was built on fear. And fear collapses when faced with clarity. That's why they can't hold formation anymore. The same voices that plotted together now argue, blame, divide. You didn't lift a hand, you simply elevated. And elevation exposes those who never intended to rise. That's the hidden revenge, the one that requires no retaliation. You became everything they said you couldn't, and now they must live in the echo of their own disbelief. But don't slow down to explain it. Don't water down your wisdom to make them comfortable again. You didn't go through that battlefield to return to diplomacy. You earned your distance, you earned your peace, you earned the right to be selective with your energy. Let them call it arrogance if they must. They called your healing delusion too, until it started producing results. Let your boundaries offend those who thrived on your exhaustion. Let your glow intimidate those who fed on your confusion. That's not pride, it's protection. You stand at the edge of a new horizon now. The air feels different, thicker with purpose. What's ahead isn't just reward, it's reign. You've mastered survival. Now comes sovereignty. This is where your voice becomes influence, your pain becomes teaching, your scars become maps. The ones who watched to mock will now watch to learn. The same world that doubted you will one day quote you. But remember, legacy isn't built through applause. It's built through alignment. Keep your focus rooted in purpose, not perception. And when people ask how you did it, don't explain. Just exist. Your existence is the explanation. You are the proof that divine power doesn't need permission. You are the confirmation that collective hatred can't rewrite cosmic design. You are the living contradiction that makes enemies question the reality they swore was certain. That's why they're silent now, not because they've changed, but because your rise removed their script. You ended their narrative by embodying truth they can't distort. So walk like prophecy fulfilled, speak like authority embodied, move like evidence incarnate. They wanted to destroy you because they saw what was coming. The version of you standing here now, untouched, unbothered, unbreakable. And now all they can do is watch as the universe elevates the very soul they tried to erase. That's the real shock. That's the real punishment. Seeing you thrive beyond the reach of their understanding. This was never about survival. It was about revelation. You weren't meant to crawl out of the ashes. You were meant to rise through them. You weren't meant to prove them wrong. You were meant to prove what divine endurance looks like. You didn't survive because you were lucky. You survived because you were chosen. And now, every heartbeat is a reminder that their failure was necessary for your awakening. So let them whisper, let them wonder, let them watch. Because no matter how many teamed up against you, it will never equal one you aligned with purpose. The war is over. The story is sealed. And history will remember this part, the moment they realized the one they tried to bury became the force they'll never outrun. That's your power now. That's your supernatural proof. And as they stand frozen, replaying their failure, you walk past the ruins, like royalty returning home. Because you didn't just survive the plot, you outlived the writers. And that's the ending they never saw coming.